I didn't want to make this type of video. I wanted the new Devil May Cry anime to be a smash hit like Castlevania or Cyberpunk Edgerunners that would drive a ton of new fans into the series. That way DMC 6 could come out sooner. Unfortunately, this show fails to be a good adaptation, and although I wouldn't say it's bad, I do far prefer the story of the DMC video games to this anime. It felt less like Devil May Cry and more like American politics with an angry woman swearing all the time the show, and I'm only exaggerating slightly. Structurally, it was a good decision for this short season to focus in on the two main characters of Dante and Lady. Unfortunately, neither are adapted well. I'll start with the worst part of the show, Lady. The first thing you'll notice about Lady is that she never stops f***ing swearing.
Let's go get this carrot-munching mother.
She talks like a 14-year-old edgelord trying way too hard to be cool. I could almost be okay with a little bit of cringe dialogue if Lady was somewhat likable, but she's not. She's a miserable, angry woman who almost never shows compassion, and she betrays Dante over and over again. Outside of one scene, Lady did almost nothing to make me like her throughout the entire show. I don't know what it is with modern writers being unable to write strong women as anything other than I'm on my period and I'm angry. In Devil May Cry 3, Lady was an angry woman, but there was a lot more to her character. She was reserved and had trust issues because of how she was betrayed by her father, but she also had a sensitive side. She cried a few times, and she didn't feel the need to swear constantly to make herself look cool. She just was cool. The writers also decided to take out the entire reason why Lady was both plot relevant and named Lady. In DMC 3, Lady's father Arkham murdered her mother to gain demonic power, so she abandoned the name her father gave her on a quest to murder him. Because she refused to be called her given name of Mary, Dante started calling her Lady, and the new name sticked. For some reason, they took out Lady's entire story of taking revenge against her father since he already died in a flashback. Then Dante starts calling her Lady for basically no reason. Maybe they are saving Arkham for season 2, but I see that as the wrong decision because Lady had so much screen time in season 1. Even though I swear Lady might have had more screen time than Dante, they also decided to take out her entire character motivation and plot importance. And you know what other character arc they forgot to include? The main character's arc, Dante's. Similar to the prequel game DMC 3, this show is about a young Dante discovering his true powers. They just forgot to include his entire character arc. In DMC 3, Dante starts the game as an uncaring mercenary who murders demons for fun and money, and by the end of the game, he is a hero battling to save mankind. Instead of seeing a flawed character grow into a hero, in the anime, Dante has his DMC 5 personality right from the start. He's a joke-cracking hero who always does the right thing right away. They go as far as to make Dante not even know he is half demon because he thinks of himself as such a good hero that he couldn't be part demon. The removal of Dante's arc weakens his relationship with Lady as well, as the entire point of Lady was to show Dante the torment the demon world can cause humans to give him a reason to fight against the demons. The point of Lady's character in the games was to teach Dante empathy through learning her pain, while the point of Lady in the anime is to be a strong female lead who swears a lot and wins multiple fights against Dante because she's just so strong. I'll complain more about that later. To be fair to the writers, the goofy DMC 5 Dante we do have is well written for what he is. Most of his jokes landed for me, and his action scenes were very good. It isn't that this portrayal of Dante is bad, it's that the removal of his arc means that this show is lacking the heart of what made DMC 3's story special. I know right now it sounds like I'm just complaining because it's not a faithful adaptation of DMC 3, but that's not my main issue. My main issue isn't that they changed the plot and characters, it's that they changed them for the worse. And when an adaptation of something you like is changed for the worse, it's hard to do anything other than compare it to the source material. I want to be wrong about this because because I want DMC to become more popular, but I don't think this show has the emotional impact needed to bring many new people into the series. Usually when a Netflix anime blows up, there's a real emotional heart to the show. In the better first season of Arcane, the heart was about Vi's love for her sister who had become evil and insane, and in Castlevania, the heart of the show was about a deranged father who was willing to murder anyone in his way, including his own son, to end humanity after they burnt his wife at the stake. In this anime, there isn't really any strong emotional moment at the core of it, or at the very least, I didn't find the emotional core of it compelling. Dante lost his DMC3 character arc and instead just has to accept that he can be both part demon and a good guy, which doesn't hit as hard as a half-demon learning empathy through his friendship with Lady. And to be fair, I'm not saying that DMC3 was written perfectly. It felt a bit rushed in some places due to the limited amount of dialogue present in that video game. It would have been great to see the story expanded on in a TV show or something, but that's not going to happen apparently. For some reason, they decided not to make the heart of the show be about the characters like in every other DMC game, and instead, the heart of the show is, unironically, demons good, American government bad, and the Iraq War was bad. And yeah, the Iraq War was bad. Why are you doing this to the Devil May Cry series? This isn't the place for that type of story. So partway through the show, they introduce a weak race of good demons who are trying to escape from the hostile environment of hell but were locked away due to Sparta's seal. Not only is the government bad, some demons good, not a good idea for a DMC adaptation since good demons are supposed to be super rare in that world, but it's also not a very interesting emotional heart to build your story around. Something like Dante's relationship with his twin brother Virgil that he both loves and hates is interesting, or Lady taking revenge against her father who turned into a monster that she also still somewhat loves can be interesting. These ideas have real inner emotional conflict at the heart of them, and best of all, they are already in the story of Devil May Cry. Government bad, some demons or aliens good has already been done before, and I don't see it propelling this series into mainstream popularity. They also removed Dante and Lady's arcs in service of crafting this new narrative, which wasn't worth it. To make you feel the emotional impact of the story, they spend the entire 6th episode on 2 flashbacks. One about Lady's father that doesn't matter at all to the main plot of Season 1 because he ends up not being the villain, and another is a flashback of the main rabbit villain guy, showing how when he was a child he crossed into the demon world and joined a demon family, only for the government to kill all of his loved ones. The second flashback had no dialogue, so I wasn't able to feel emotionally connected to the family when they died, even though the entire episode was mostly just this flashback. I feel like BoJack Horseman was able to have a great episode with no dialogue, so everybody else wants to do their own artsy no dialogue episode, and they're just not good enough at writing to pull off what BoJack Horseman could do. So I sound very negative right now. I'll say again that I don't think the show is bad. There were plenty of great action scenes, and I loved the early 2000s rock music. If I seem a bit extra upset in this video, it's not because I think the show was bad, it's because a DMC anime has a 9 out of 10 potential, but this was closer to around a 6.5 out of 10. Of course, the writing isn't always bad. When it's just Dante or his greedy little crime friend cracking one-liners, it's actually pretty good. The main issue with the writing is whenever the scene cuts to Lady and her cringe brigade of government soldiers. They do this cringy millennial Gen Z writing thing where every male side character is super awkward, and every female side character is hyper masculine and angry all the time, and spoiler alert, I guess, almost every important side character only exists to die to provide character development for Lady, so that she can become even more angry and bitter, I guess. The only good thing about the cringe brigade was Chad Kroeger. They just made this poor guy look like the singer of Nickelback, which never stopped being funny to me. Because the Lady stuff isn't great, the show ends up getting split into into two halves, the Dante half that had likable characters doing cool action scenes, and the lady half which had less action and a ton of government exposition mixed with edgelord cringe, I guess. To say the least, it's not what I expected from a DMC anime. It's more like Shadow the Hedgehog got an anime. While we're talking about Lady, there are just some straight up plot holes with her strength. In one part of the show, she manages to shoot Dante in the foot, throw him in the truck, and lock him away. Sorry, but you can't do that. Even if I accepted that she used a special bullet to deal more damage to Dante, Dante still should have been able to dodge the bullet, and if he got hit, he should have been able to hop fight back. Like, it's not like Dante dies after taking one hit. This isn't Hell in Hell mode, it's supposed to be canon. He's not that weak. He also already has awakened to his devil trigger at this point, so losing to a human woman in one shot is beyond stupid. Another minor issue with the show is that the CGI just wasn't great. In action scenes, it was serviceable, but when the camera stopped moving and you were just looking at the models, they kind of looked bad, like they didn't fit in with the environment. Now it's time to talk about the worst part of the show that wasn't Lady, which is the ending. So the main villain is trying to open the gates of hell to save all the good demons who Sparta trapped there. Dante and Lady defeat the main villain and stop the gates of hell from opening. Dante asks Lady to join him as demon hunters, and determined to be the least likable character ever, Lady knocks out Dante with a tranquilizer injection and turns him into the government. While Dante is frozen in a government chamber, America decides to use Dante's amulet to open up the gates of hell so they can invade and murder all of the demons there, both bad and good. You can blame all of this on Lady for tranquilizing Dante. Or you could say that it's Dante's fault for lowering his guard around Lady and getting one shot by her again when he's supposed to be way stronger than her and have superhuman senses, and she's already taken him by surprise before, so he should be expecting it. But F it, I guess Lady can easily incapacitate this Dante whenever she feels like it to make the plot do whatever it wants. And what the plot wants to do, apparently, is be an allegory for the Iraq War, when this was supposed to be a Devil May Cry anime. Lady betraying Dante again at the end also basically means that she has no real character arc. Her character arc was supposed to be her learning to trust a demon, but then she just betrays him again at the end anyways because she's a government lapdog. So instead of a Devil May Cry anime, we have an evil government anime that features Dante from Devil May Cry as the main character. The government was never a big part of the story in the DMC games since they're supposed to be incompetent at stopping demon threats. This allows the focus of the story to be about the characters and their difficult family relationships, which was always great. Unfortunately, because of the ending, I don't think that they will make this more similar to the games in Season 2. I think Season 2 will be about the war between the government and the demon lord Mundus, where Dante will fight for the government and Virgil for Mundus. If they do this, it will kind of suck, since Virgil is supposed to only care about attaining power for himself and Dante isn't anyone's lapdog, but whatever. The government might play a bigger role in DMC 2, I wouldn't know since I didn't play it, but if that is the case, then they shouldn't be using the worst game as a big source of inspiration for the anime. Also, when they decided to show Virgil at the last second of the show and he says something like, "I am the storm," to match his music, that was just too on the nose and cringy.
I am that storm.
I get it. Bury the Light is a cool song. Imagine if Virgil talks like this in DMC 5. You know, Dante, you cannot beat me. I am the storm that is approaching. I get that it's hard adapting a video game series to television. For many reasons, a one-to-one adaptation simply will not work. You can't have an entire show with Dante being mostly alone in a tower killing bosses like in DMC 3. A lot had to be added, and some things had to be cut. I was ready to give the writers some leniency, but they strayed so far from the heart of Devil May Cry and the characters that I don't really even see this as a Devil May Cry anime. It's more a story about government corruption with a Devil May Cry skin. The reason why I'm making this video is because I thought Devil May Cry had the potential to be the next big video game anime if it was done well, and it could blow up like Cyberpunk or Castlevania. And while the action scenes and music were great, the writing was not good enough to do that. If I am wrong and the show explodes in popularity, that'll be cool, but I doubt it. I don't even think this video will get shown to too many people because I don't believe this show has what it takes to become a trending topic. But if I am wrong, that'll be good because then more people will get into DMC. When it comes to the stylish action scenes, the anime can be pretty good. But when it comes to the deeper character conflicts of Devil May Cry, this anime misses the point of Devil May Cry.